And let's look at some really interesting data from our dear friends over at IC Cars. Maybe we should get Julie back on the show. Julie's
We should.
podcast. Yeah, I'll
Yes.
reach out to Julie. So Julie Blackley does all of the research over at IC Cars. I really
Does she actually do the research, or does she just report on the research?
she does the write-ups. They have a like a
Okay.
data science team
Yes.
over at IC Cars. The top 10 cars that hold their value best 5-year car depreciation across different segments. We'll link to this in the chat as well, Pops. I thought we're in this environment where vehicles are appreciating, but over a 5-year period of time, they should
Depreciate. They should. And some really, really do.
So
But then there's some that really, really don't.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the top 10 that depreciate the least. So the vehicles that hold their value the best, Dad. It's a familiar mix of Toyotas and Jeeps, especially.
Yes. The Jeep Wrangler, on average, over 5 years, only loses 9.2% of its original MSRP. 9.2%. So if you want to buy a 5-year-old one, I don't know, you're going to be just under $2,800 less than what it sold for, or what the MSRP was new.
And let's be clear, probably in this market, you might even pay like imagine that a 5-year-old Jeep in this market might be like at its original MSRP.
Yes,
it's insane.
It is, yes, and then that's followed by the 4-door version of the Wrangler, the Unlimited, and this limited amount of depreciation is, when you really think about it, it's staggering that it's so low.
No, it really, really is. And Jeeps have a cult-like following, so it makes sense. Then the next on the list, Dad, I'll share my screen again. Sorry, I took that away from you. The Porsche 911 only depreciates about 13%, 12.8%, which is a significant amount of money because the Porsche 911 costs so much to begin with. About a $21,000 difference from the original MSRP. But again, that's nothing, because the average for all vehicles over a 5-year period of time is 40%.
Yes, and but don't forget, the 911 is not produced in great numbers, so there would be a reason why that's not going to depreciate nearly as much as some other cars.
Toyota Tacoma drops 13.8%. Toyota Tundra drops 19.5%. The Ford Mustang drops 21%. Chevy Corvette 22.7%. Chevrolet Camaro 23.6%. The Dodge Challenger at nearly a quarter at 24.4%, and the Toyota 4Runner at 24.6%.
Yeah, so you can see it's specialty vehicles like the Jeeps, or sportier type muscle American cars, and then they, you have to sprinkle in some Toyotas, because you just have to.
Now, what about the opposite end of the spectrum, Pops? I actually haven't looked at this yet, so we're all what?
Wow. Yes. The Nissan Leaf, God bless you, only loses 65% of its value in 5 years. That's 65%. And then the BMW i3, a vehicle that we at the mini dealership used to affectionately call the clown car, because it looks like a clown car. That drops 63%. And then the BMW 7 Series, always a big loser when it comes to value. Never. This points out, if you look at the number of BMWs in here, that points out why you never, ever, ever buy one. You only lease one. Because who wants to buy something that 5 years from now is going to be worth 60% less than what you just paid for it? I mean, you tell me how that makes good sense to want to own that.
No, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So you've got the Nissan Leaf, about a $23,666 delta from original MSRP.
We brought the Delta team back in.
The BMW i3, like you were saying, about $32,663.
Can I say one thing, though? If you ever wanted to get an electric vehicle, these two, the Leaf and the BMW, if you want to buy one as a pre-owned car, they should be exceedingly good values on the retail side as a pre-owned car, because they've dropped like a rock from the for the original purchaser.
And then for some context here, that BMW 7 Series that you were talking about, a $63,000 difference after 5 years. Can't be too surprised to see number 4, the Maserati Ghibli, 61.3%, similar to the BMW, about a $51,000 difference in price. The BMW X5 comes in at number 5 with over 60% of its value depreciating over 5 years. The Jaguar XF, 59.5%. The BMW 5 Series, 59.1%. The Audi A6 at 58.2, the Lincoln Navigator L at 57.7, and the Volvo S60 at 57.3, rounding
So,
out your top.
so anybody thinking about any of those cars, lease, lease, lease. Do not buy. If you want to buy something, buy that Jeep Wrangler, because you're going to lose very little over the course of 5 years. But you buy any of those other cars, and you're going to get clobbered. It's like somebody's going to hit you across the head with a 2x4.